So next question comes from Ryan Kane, and they ask, who are your favourite bosses from the series? And theirs is the End from MGS 3.
Ooh, that is a good boss, actually.
That is like definitely one of the best.
Yeah, I thinking about all of them that I've played, and honestly, the ones I like the most are all the sniper bosses.
Yeah.
Quiet's actually pretty fun. It's a pretty good boss fight.
Yeah.
The End is also one of the best ones, and there's so many different ways to approach the End's boss fight.
Yeah.
Like you can try to bulldoze him down. You could try sniping him, try sneaking up on him. You could try waiting him out so he dies. You could try killing him before it even becomes a boss fight. I mean, it is such a clever way of doing it.
Yeah.
So I'm with him. I think that one's a great boss fight. I think my second favorite is honestly probably the Ocelot fight on the original game.
Oh, interesting.
Just because sometimes I'll just boot up just to play through, just to get to that boss fight. And then once I do that boss fight, I shut the game off. I'm done. I got my fill. And
what is it about
it's the ricocheting aspect of it and trying to figure out how to like do it without being hit at all, for one. And then just the cinematic that follows it, the tone, the him taunting you. It just, there's a lot of stuff that goes into his character being there for it.
Yeah.
And I just enjoy the entire thing that happens from that boss fight. He comes in all smug, just everything about it.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, that is one of my favorite character introductions, like, just ever in anything, any piece of media. Just the way Ocelot comes in, you know, twirling the revolvers, just his arrogance and his cockiness, and I don't know, he's just so cool. He's instantly like one of the coolest characters, and it's kind of so out of like, you know, like it's so bonkers when you think about Revolver Ocelot is like a cowboy. He's just like a cowboy in this like modern espionage.
I think it's hilarious too because he's from Russia. Yeah, he's a cowboy. It's absurd when you think about it.
It really is.
It's not like he's like it's like a character of a cowboy. This is what he thinks a cowboy looks like, and with the jacket, the giant mustache, everything. Yeah, exactly. And it's and he plays the characters because he enjoys it. Yeah. So I think
it's just amazing. Fun. Yeah. One of my like touching on what some of my favorite bosses are. I really actually like the second boss fight with Vulcan Raven when you're in the kind of like the frozen area, and you're like
that is a gut.
Yeah, running between the crates and stuff. There's just something about, I love on the radar how his field of vision is massive, and you're just like this little dot. Obviously the guards are usually quite like, you know, just average sized field of visions, but it just like adds to the size of his character.
How do you feel about the difference between the Twin Snakes versus the original game's battle on that? You take advantage of when you play it? Do you take advantage of
like the first person?
Yeah. Or do you try to embrace the old?
I think the first time I ever played it, I totally did like tried first person shooting, but I think now I play it, and I think the reason I like it is because I like the fact that it feels so well designed for that like top down camera angle, if you know what I mean. Like it feels made for that specifically. It's kind of similar to like the Revolver Ocelot one. It feels so simple that you're running around a square essentially. But it just works with that camera setup. It feels so designed for us. I think in the Twin Snakes, well, it is fun to just maybe have a go at that, shooting him in first person. I think it is better if you do play it without it. It adds to the challenge, I think. And another favorite boss battle of mine, and it kind of feels quite similar, is the fight with the Fury in MGS 3, where you have like the various like corridors, and it's really dark, and like it feels quite stealthy. You have to like kind of sneak around, sneak up on him to get a shot on him. something about that. I really like that kind of structure to the boss battles.
Mm.
So I'm excited to see how they tackle that in Delta.
Speaking of boss battles, I had a so like out of the different games and the music and all of that type of stuff, the Fear, it has a very, very like high pitched whistling sound that starts at the beginning of that battle.
Right.
And I used to make that my ringtone on my phone back when people used to have ringtones on their phone. It'd be like, woo, and I had it on my phone, and I went to a friend's house, and he was setting up a beer keg, and right when he tapped the beer keg, someone called, so it made that whistling sound, and he's like, hit the deck, and I started busting out laughing because I'm like, this is the freaking hilarious. I'm like, what is he doing? And it was all because of that song, and I was like, forever in my mind now. Anytime I hear that song, I think of that battle. I just think of him, and it's
That's so
a great
funny.
little memory.
Oh, that's an amazing memory. I did a similar thing with my ringtones. Like I think my message alert, even on my phone now, is still this, the alert sound. And then I used to have just the codec ring as when someone's calling me. And I remember once I was just playing. I think I was playing Metal Gear Solid on my Vita, PS Vita, and obviously got like the codec call. And my wife was like, "Aren't you going to pick up your phone?" Because she thought someone was genuinely ringing me. I was like, "Oh no, this is where that sound comes from." So she was like, "Oh, okay, right." Just thinking I'm just ignoring a call.
That's funny. That's great.
So next question comes from Ardipai, and they ask, "What is it? What makes MGS MGS? Is it the storytelling, the lore, gameplay, characters, or something else? And why do we love it?"
Ooh, that's a big question, actually.
I know. It's hard to. I've been thinking about this one, and I find it's so hard to whittle it down to one thing. But I'll be interested to see if you can.
One thing. Presentation. That's like it's how it's being presented. It's the game, like it's a stealth game, which there aren't very many of those anymore.
Yeah,
if any.
Yeah, sadly so.
Yeah, exactly. And those are my favorite types of games. Yeah. And it's a combination of all of these different things being as it's presented. The story, the ridiculousness of the story, the message behind the story, the cinematics, and the gameplay. It's all of those together at the particular formula. That's why Metal Gear Solid 5 doesn't feel like a Metal Gear Solid game, because it doesn't have that formula.
Yeah. No, that's interesting, actually. Yeah. Presentation is a really good way to sum out, actually, because it kind of encompasses a lot of the various different features. I think for me, like, one of the things that makes Metal Gear for me is that supernatural edge that it has. On the surface, it sounds like a very grounded experience. It's an espionage game. Like we're used to like James Bond or Mission Impossible type things, and for like this espionage genre, just to throw in the most weirdest characters, like we said about like a Russian guy who likes to dress up as a cowboy, psychic guy who wears a gas mask, a cyborg ninja. It's just like what? Like, this is, on paper it looks bonkers, and it's almost like it almost shouldn't work, but it stands out. It's so unique because of that supernatural, almost like anime-esque element that it throws in there. So that's kind of that's probably the main thing what I love about Mega Solid. But there are there's endless things I love about it: the gameplay, the characters, the different settings, the themes. It's an endless thing. But the supernatural element is a big thing for me, I think.
Yeah, I agree. You wouldn't have that series if it wasn't for that.
Yeah,
and trying to. There's a right amount of it. There's like a specific percentage. I don't know what that percentage is, but you need it. If it's too much, it doesn't work. If it's too little, it still doesn't work.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It hits like the right balance, I feel. Just
Yeah.
enough to be like weird, but not too far, so to speak.
Yeah, it doesn't cross the line into being a horror game, essentially, and just messing with you for the sake of messing with you.
Yeah, pretty much.